Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Buddy. I'm your host Josh Blumenkrantz. Today I'm reviewing Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and with me I'm joined by Kat Lee of the Nerdwire. Kat, how's it going, my friend? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I mean, we just saw this epic Spider-Man movie. Like, isn't it so good?
Oh, it was honestly, not to jump in the reviews super quick, but
Yeah.
probably one of my top three favorite Spider-Man movies of all time.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So my first question for you, since we're just jumping on in here, what made you get into Spider-Man? Like, where did it start for you?
Yeah, so I'm kind of old, right? So I started off with Tobey's Spider-Man. So my dad was
Nice.
super into like DC, big X-Men fan. He has like a huge big book of Frank Miller's comics and stuff like that. So he got me into DC and Marvel and all that. And then obviously Spider-Man came out with Tobey. We saw it in theaters and I was kind of hooked. I've always been kind of hooked on Marvel.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
so
hasn't?
yeah, so I just loved him. It was like kind of the first of its kind, right? And been hooked ever since.
Nice. Same goes for me. Toby has always been like my OG Spider-Man as long as I can remember. I saw the first movie. I was a little afraid to because of the Green Goblin mask, but I sucked it up. I saw the movie, loved it. And then of course Spider-Man 2 came out, and that was just like my top. It still is to this day, like my top comic book film. I just love that movie with all my heart so much. And then Spider-Man 3 was fine, but it is what it is. Like it's just a nostalgia thing with those three movies. And then we got the Andrew Garfield films, which I thought were fine. They kind of ups the like effects and everything. And Garfield was kind of like a more brooding kind of Spider-Man, which was cool. Um, those
Yeah.
two those two films were good. I like the dynamic between like him and Emma Stone. And then we jumped on over to the trilogy with Tom Holland and John Watts. So it's more younger kind of Spider-Man, very like juvenile, kind of campy, kind of a fun Spider-Man. You got to see him kind of
Yeah.
grow up over the past almost 10 years. So now we got
Yeah.
this new movie, and this is a very interesting thing from Destin, who directed Shang-Chi. Very different tone, and I have to say, I'm very pleased with it. I had a great time watching this movie. This is what I wanted from the original trilogy for Tom Holland in the John Watts films. Like, you kind of see more of New York City again, him swinging through. The effects are amazing. It felt like a video game, kind of a Street Fighter type of grounded Spider-Man, which is all I've ever wanted in these
Yeah.
films.
Yeah, so it's funny that you say video game. We actually looked into it, and Feige spoke at the premiere and said,
Hmm.
they've stayed away from the New York kind of grit in the last couple of films because, they didn't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. So we obviously got
Mm.
London. We got a lot of that, but they went back to the games, and that's what I think Dustin did so well was that he went back to the games and said, what is working so well with these video games, and then they tried to recreate that. Obviously, we see really interesting comic book covers as well in slow motion in the film,
Yeah.
which everybody loves, right?
Hmm.
But Feige said it was great to go back to their roots, see him, being that quintessential Spider-Man that everybody knows and loves, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and like you kind of see those, like you said, the video game kind of like shots from the comic book. Like they do so many like iconic shots, like him swinging with the guy, the hand, him fighting the hand. Like there's just like so many epic, very cool sequences in this movie, which is just thrilling for us fans of Spider-Man.
Yeah. I will say on the hand, now that you've brought it up,
Please.
I would have loved, even if it was just a little bit, if we got a tiny bit of Daredevil, right? Because that would have been such
Yeah,
an easy crossover, right? Like
I
that is
know
a
they live in New York
dare
City. It's like, why
that's
not?
that's a Daredevil villain, right?
Hmm.
Elektra was part of the hand. Like I would have loved the nostalgia. Here's what I think it did well, right? So
Okay.
we obviously got the nostalgia from the last movie, right? we got
Hmm.
we got all three Spider-Mans on the same screen, and everybody was hyped, and everybody was like,
Yeah,
holy shit. It's like
it was amazing.
everybody in the same room, right? I love that they didn't do the fan service and try to do that again, right? He had some subtle callbacks to like, here is the, Spider 2 or, Peter 2 could do this. And
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like he had some subtle callbacks, but we weren't referencing the old film. We didn't try, like, he didn't meet up with another Spider-Man in that film. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, we're
Yeah.
not redoing it, right? But when are we bringing Daredevil into the MCU? Do you know what I mean? I'm
I
like, it's
do.
crazy. We have Punisher. We had, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been such an easy kind of thing
Hmm.
to go ahead and do that. And the same with, obviously, now we have the X-Men. And I know we can probably get into it later about
Yeah.
the post-credits scene, right? But,
Hmm.
like, we didn't get a card that said Spider-Man will appear in Doomsday, right? We
We
got
didn't get it.
Spider-Man
Will
will
return.
return.
And that's
That's
about
it.
it. Yeah.
And the whole time I'm thinking, cool, we have Spider-Man. We have Jean Grey. Spoiler. We
Yes.
have Jean
Oh, we're
Grey.
doing we're doing spoilers, by the way, guys. Yeah. So just if you haven't
Yes,
seen the movie, stop
sorry. If
listening
you
to this.
haven't seen,
Yeah. Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
We have Spider-Man. We have Jean Grey. I don't know how much easier it would have been for Marvel to say, this is your arc
Hmm.
to the two. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah.
now for Doomsday, it leaves that question open for me of like, how are they going to integrate the two universes together when
Hmm.
we haven't seen that before? We have that in this movie. It's a
Right.
Marvel movie where they did both.
Hmm.
So where are we going with this? And I have some thoughts about the post-credit scene, but I'll let you kind of jump in on that and tell me like, what are your thoughts?
Well, I know I'm not like as big of a Marvel comic person as you are, so I'm glad you're on the show because this is great. Because like, I'm really asking you all the questions because I guess we'll jump to the post credit scene while we're on it. Ned has the Spidey tracker as we saw earlier in the movie. He sees Spider-Man, but in space. And from what I'm kind of researched on, this could be a potential like Secret Wars thing, not necessarily a Doomsday thing just yet. It could be Peter Parker, like Tom Holland's Peter Parker, or it could be a different Spider-Man for all we know. We don't know, but like that's kind of is that am I right on that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the biggest question for me is that obviously like being a comic book fan and coming from that world is the one question I think are going to be on the comic book nerds minds are Battle World. And a lot of
Yes.
people are like, what is Battle World, right?
Hmm.
So Battle World is not another planet in space, right? It's traditionally an artificial world created for Marvel Secret Wars events, which is
Ah,
why I think specifically they did not talk about Doomsday.
yeah.
Um, so it came out in the comics in 1984 and it was revisited again in 2015 in Secret Wars. Um, does the post-credit scene confirm Battle World? No. Obviously, it's our interpretation. However, it would be the easiest way to kind of go into that because the incursions, according to the 2015 comics, are the reason that kind of, Doom is coming back and the battle world is kind of happening. And that's really where we're going with Secret Wars. So it
Hmm.
would be the easiest thing to go battle world,
Yeah.
which honestly, if they do that, that movie is going to be insane. Like Secret
That'd
Wars
be
is going to be
really cool.
so much fun. Essentially, Battle World is a place that they put them together and make them fight. Right? It's like the Fight Club of the Avengers, existential kind of creatures in the interstellar world, right? But
Yeah.
it would be easy to kind of slap that on there. Now, do I know Marvel loves to do shit that we're not expecting, right?
Hmm.
So who knows? But that's I think the question in everybody's mind is shit, we're getting Battle World.
Hmm. Yeah. We'll see. Because like, real quick before we jump to the next thing, do you think the Battle World and like Secret Wars is going to be kind of like a hybrid of a movie? You think is that what they're kind of do? Like, kind of combine it like all together?
So Battle World takes place in the Secret Wars in kind of like that comic series. So I think that that's what Secret Wars will essentially be about is this kind of Battle World, what happens after Doom, what happens that like I have a feeling that the Avengers are going to have to fight the Sentinels. They're going to have to fight Doom. They're going to, kind of do all of that.
Hmm.
And the point of it is because I don't know if they're going to fight on Earth. Do you know what I mean? I think we've
Yeah.
seen things in the trailers of we're here, right? But
Hmm.
are the Sentinels on Earth? Is Doom here, right? Or did they not go off world?
Who's
We
to
don't
say?
know.
Yeah.
Right. So I
Well,
don't think it would be a very far stretch for them to be in Battle World fighting in Doom, or at least start off here and go.
fair enough. Well, that's our talk about the potential Secret Wars Battle World Saga. We'll get into that
Yeah.
down the road. But let's talk about this movie with the performances. I thought Tom was did a great job. I like seeing Peter Parker kind of struggle, sort of similar to Spider-Man 2. They kind of borrowed elements from, I would say, all three of the Raimi films in some sense. Like he has these powers that are kind of like developing, like a kind of a mutation, if you will. He's like struggling with it. He wants to kind of stop it or put it at bay. But then there's also times where he loses control, which is like kind of like a Spider-Man 3 kind of thing, like with the symbiote. So I just really liked seeing him mature because, it's been like years later since No Way Home and him kind of like roughing it on his own, but also kind of pining for MJ and like missing Ned as his best friend. So what did you think of Tom Holland's performance in this?
Yeah, I think that Mark Ruffalo actually he delivers a line to Tom Holland which kind of sums up the whole movie, and it's like
Hmm.
what would you suppress? Like which parts would you decide are good or bad, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's what Spider-Man is struggling, and what Tom Holland does so well in this movie is that he's just trying to be good, right? He's trying to be the Peter Parker that everybody knows and loves, and I think he battles with like very real problems that people are dealing with day to day, right? Like we all
Hmm.
want to be good enough. We all want to do the best. We're all pretty burnt out right now. Like it is something that is just kind of like in the climate is happening right now, right? Like the world is feeling pretty burnt out as a whole. And I think that's something that like Tom did a really great job about. The writers did a really great job, kind of
Hmm.
portraying that. Destin, I think, like, you really feel his movies and like Wonder Man and Shang-Chi, like you really
Yes.
feel the
He
emotion.
captures the
Um,
emotion very well.
yeah. And I think I love the direction that Marvel is taking with some of these movies, like the ones with Drake Shire and the Thunderbolts, like they're
Yeah,
not
very similar to
shying
that.
away. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're not shying away from being like, this sucks. And you know what? We're going to have to deal with it. Like, even Spider Man gets lonely. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they
Hmm.
showed all the Thunderbolts, same thing. You know what I mean? So, I think that was so important, especially right now. And Tom did such a great job. I think, obviously, like coming off the Odyssey, he
Yeah.
is acting with such a masterclass
He
of,
probably learned
you
so
know,
much and brought that to set.
yeah,
As like the
you
leading
have to
guy.
wonder, right? Like you have to wonder that he didn't get some direction from like Dustin and obviously like Nolan, right?
Hmm. That's what it
It's
takes
just
though. Like when you work with different directors, because like not to knock Watts, like I think he did fine with like what he did with the other three movies, but this is just like a more mature tone that I've been like waiting patiently for to see for this character.
right. We're growing up with Spider-Man, and I think that's the one thing that Marvel does well is that we don't have too many reboots. I know people want it. I know people want whatever, but there's a nostalgia piece of it, and there's also like Spider-Man's dealing with very real problems that we as adults and like we seen him as a kid. Like
Yeah.
we dealt with him when he was younger and we were kind of going through that, and now we're
Hmm.
dealing with him when he's older and we're dealing with that. And I think that's something that is doing like super well. He's taking his kind of day to day with him when he's acting, and I think it's amazing.
Definitely. And while we're on, like, because you mentioned Hulk earlier, I liked Mark Ruffalo's performance, of course, but do I think this character kind of fits the story? I don't know. I mean, I know why they did it with the whole like device of like, keeping the mutations and stuff at bay. But I just felt like there could have been a better way of executing that idea. Because like when you look at the runtime of this movie, it's pretty long. It's like almost 2.5 hours. Okay. And I kind of felt it in the middle of it for a little bit. And I was wondering like, where are we going with this movie? Like obviously we got to get to stuff with Gene and everything, but I don't know. What were your thoughts on that?
Man, I really feel for Mark Ruffalo because I think he's such a great actor. He's like
Hmm.
an amazing human being as well. Marvel doesn't seem like they have any freaking idea what to do with Hulk. Do you know what I'm saying?
I truly don't know where they're going with it. I don't know.
In in most movies, to me, he just kind of feels like the big green kind of comedic relief at times. He kind of just smashes at times. Do you know what I mean? Like Hulk
Hmm.
is such a conflicted character and they don't know what to do with him. And I think that it's so apparent. I think Dustin and the writers did try to give him a little bit in this movie, right? Like they
Hmm.
tried to give it where it's like, he's trying, he's struggling, he's whatever. But he's such. There's so much more that they
Yeah.
could be doing with Hulk. Like they could make a freaking solo Hulk movie, and you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying. But like
They
again, with
could.
like She-Hulk, same thing. Nobody knew what to do with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it
I
just
do.
seems
I
like
remember. I
he's
watched it.
comedic
Yeah.
relief. Yeah, it just seems like it's like, oh shit, we don't know how to do with him, so like we're gonna leave him as comedic relief. He'll smash things around every so often, but there's
Yeah.
nothing to him. There's not enough substance there, which is really a shame because Mark Ruffalo could totally act the hell out
Oh,
of
I
it.
know.
But
He's like one of our best working today. And it just felt like, yeah, it just didn't resolve itself the way it was supposed to resolve itself. And it just kind of like left by the wayside. So that was kind of like a
yeah,
flaw that I had with the movie, or one of them. Um,
yeah,
and and then jumping over to, let's go to Zendaya and Ned for like a second here, because obviously we like
yeah.
them. We've grown up with them as well. Um, I don't know. I thought they were fine for what they were given. I just wish there was just a little bit more. They were not in it that much, but then again, Zendaya's filming like so many different movies, so who knows if they cut stuff out or whether she had
Right.
time to do. Comes into
Yeah.
focusing on Peter's journey more so, I think, in this film than any of the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. I think she had her quips. I think she was quintessential MJ. Obviously, again, she's
Hmm.
an amazing actress, so I think that she did what she was kind of given. She wasn't a standout in the movie to me. Neither was Ned. He was like
No, they're
you
like the
knew that
comedic relief. Comedic relief.
yeah,
Although when MJ said that, like she doesn't love him because she doesn't know him, I'm like, ooh, that
right.
that was
Right.
powerful. Yeah,
So what I love that they did and they didn't do the oh my gosh, you remember. Like when
I'm
they were
glad they
doing
didn't do
that.
that.
Yes, when they were going over it in the theater, everybody was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like you literally heard audible gasp, and the whole time I'm like, this ain't true. This is Gene. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah,
like, there's no way. I was hoping that there was like, oh my god, please don't do this. I hate that
it's
trope.
because it's like too soon, and like also like it's magic. Like you can't just undo magic like that. It's not that easy.
However, right, we got the scene with Ned at the end where he remembered the handshake, looked up, and said,
Yes.
Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that they did that because, again, they didn't have MJ remember him right away, but they did. Maybe we do have somebody that knows him. We
Mm-hmm.
did have a scene where Hulk kind of paused as well when he was like, no, you know what I mean? Banner, I'm your friend. It's Peter. He
Yeah.
explained it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have that, right? But again, I am really happy that they didn't have it wasn't MJ.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just felt like they were there to do what they needed to do, and also like, do you think this has been something I looked on the line with Gene? Do you think it's because of what Gene like did, like inhabiting their minds and stuff, that's why they're kind of starting to remember it a little bit, or do you think this is just like a muscle reflex kind of a thing? Like, oh, I knew you, but I don't know how I know you.
Yeah, I think Jean is really struggling with her powers. I think we're seeing a Jean prior to obviously the Academy. She doesn't have Charles yet. She only had her sister, and I'll go
Hmm.
into why that annoys me as well in a
Yeah.
second. Um, so she doesn't really know what she's capable of. And I think that we saw that a little bit where, I didn't love the scene with her and they were kind of like firing all the neurotransmitters. I think she could figure that out. She is more powerful. Dark Phoenix, you know what I mean? Phoenix,
Hmm.
like she's insane, right? That part didn't bother me so much. The part that I had an issue with is she doesn't know that much at this point, right? She's still
No.
figuring out. Her sister taught her very basic things.
Hmm.
I did think that touch where she was breathing for Peter throughout,
That was
that was
cool.
crazy.
That was
That was
amazing.
so crazy. We have
Yeah.
not seen kind of Jean do that so far. Do you know what
She's
I'm
a she's a
saying?
power she's a powerful Gene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think that they can go so many directions with her. I'm so excited that Jake Schreier is doing the reboot of
Hmm.
X-Men. So
Oh yeah.
love it. It's going to be
I'm all
amazing.
for it. Anything that man does, let's go.
Honestly, here's my issue that I have specifically with her sister Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah in the comics was not a mutant. And that was the
Oh.
purpose of it, right? She was an advocate. She had a husband. She had 2 kids. She was pretty much a forgotten character
Hmm.
until recently when they brought her back. So like
Yeah.
we're trying to that, but that was very important that she was not a mutant. She was advocating for mutant rights. She was killed because she was advocating kind of for mutant rights. So that differs from the comics to here, obviously. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think that was an easy way for them to just say, like, oh, we killed her off, because they don't want to
Yeah, that
deal
was
with
seems
it
so
a little
all of a
bit.
sudden to me. I mean, it's very sad for Jean's story, but also it's like, okay, we barely got to know you. Yeah, you have a strong relationship with your sister, but at the same time, it's like, okay, what's your like purpose in all of this? Like, I don't understand
Right.
it. Other than like you would train Jean, I suppose.
We gave her powers. We said, the writer said, we don't have enough time to deal with
We don't have
this.
time for that. Yeah, just toss it off.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like why they did it. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to explain like how Jean was able to learn anything. And I think that's the reason why is like they needed someone to teach her prior to her meeting like Professor X and kind of going through that, that
Hmm.
whole arc. However, comic book fans, I don't necessarily think they're going to die on that hill. It just kind of was a little bit like, she's not
Yeah.
a mutant. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
yeah.
But no, I did like Sadie Sink's performance though as Jean Grey. I thought she
Oh
was
my God.
excellent. Like so emotionally, like just the trauma that that character kind of goes through, and just like her using her powers. And I liked her arc. By the end of this movie, it's like, okay, I feel for her. I could see her, being a good part of the X-Men later on. And yeah, I think it's a really good casting.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. Obviously, we've seen her before with like Stranger Things where she's had like a very kind of
Hmm.
same similar kind of vibes where she's had a traumatized kind of arc. So she plays that super well. I think that we're going to grow up with her. I like truly do. I think she's going to be playing
Yes,
Phoenix for a long time
for a
because
while.
she I think she does it well. I think the one thing that she does well that other Phoenixes have done well as well is she has that again the same kind of conflicted traumatized came from a really rough beginning, which hello, I'm a superhero, I've come from a really rough beginning, right?
Yeah.
All of them kind of have, but she plays it super well. Again, I would die to see her as Dark Phoenix because I think she's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah.
So
Give her time. She's got to grow up
I'm just
first.
waiting.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I think she's amazing though.
Hmm. And then some other characters who make some cameos. We got Florence Pugh as back again from the Star and Thunderbolts last. What did you think of that? I thought it was entertaining. We love Florence Pugh and everything. She was fine, but she was more of a like, oh, you just got to handle like the big potato stuff, and then like, oh, like this is what you have to do. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that again, one of the things Marvel is going to struggle with is what to do with the Thunderbolts.
Hmm.
I think that the individual movie that they had was so good, but it's like super well received by some Marvel fans, right? I really liked Yelena as a character. I think part of my heart hurt a little bit when they kept calling her Black Widow because it's not Black Widow.
It's not
You know
Black
what I'm
Widow.
saying?
False advertising. But yes, I know what you
Yes,
mean.
but I obviously she's going to be growing into that role. Obviously, it's big shoes to fill, and the nostalgia I think there for me was a little bit like shit. She is Black Widow now,
Hmm.
Um, her role, she's funny. I love Yelena. I think she's
Yeah.
hilarious. Alexi's funny. I think the entire Thunderbolts cast are the comedic relief of a lot of the movies and stuff. Do I
Hmm.
think that one, she wasn't super standout for me. I'll say I think that like her scenes were like cute and whatever. Do I think they could have been condensed to maybe one? Maybe, probably.
Yeah, like after the whole like bathhouse scene, like I don't think we need to see her again after that. Like that scene was just
No.
like wasting time. That's just again another one of the flaws of this movie for me. Is just there's so many characters and a lot of them are just underdeveloped more in terms of compared to
Yeah.
other ones.
I just think that Marvel as a whole, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, they really know what to do with some characters, and that's why they keep bringing them back. The Iron Mans, the Steve Rogers of the world.
Hmm.
They know what the hell they're doing with them, right? And they want to keep writing them. Some of the other ones, the Spider-Mans, some of the other ones, they have no idea what to do with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're too traumatized, too conflicted. Their storylines are too big. The comic books aren't like they haven't followed it as much as they should have, and so now they're like, I don't know where to go from here. I think Yelena kind of falls into that a little bit. You know, I think they
Hmm.
want to do more with her because Florence Pugh is amazing and she's such a good actress.
Of
But
course.
they also are like limited because it's Yelena. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's not she's not the Black Widow character. She's not the Hawkeye, which again, they don't know what the hell to do with him either. You know, like
Hmm. Yeah.
I think
No,
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, hopefully, Doomsday is going to be a big success because there's a lot riding, I think, on Doomsday in terms of the future of this MCU. I mean, I'm sure it'll make money, but like in terms of like the quality and whether people are going to keep coming back, there's a lot riding on it.
I'm afraid. I'll be honest with you. I'm afraid. I thought it was going to be longer.
Hmm.
I think all of us would be happy if you said we're giving you a 4 hour long Doomsday video. I think everyone would be like, awesome. Tell me when to
Yeah.
pee. Do you know what I mean? Like, tell me the slow part of the bath scene so I can go to pee. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? People want that. You know what I mean? Like, we want the lore, we want the backstory, we want it, and
Hmm.
I'm just hoping they deliver. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, as we're kind of like winding down a little bit, let's just talk about what was your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh man, I really loved. I saw this accidentally in 4DX,
Oh.
3D 40X. I didn't pay attention when I was buying the tickets. I was just like, hurry up! And 2 days before everybody else, I don't want this spoiled for me.
Hmm.
So it was really cool. I kind of did get to do the whole like bouncing around thing when Spider-Man was just swinging through. I did play the Insomniac game, so it just felt kind of like again, just very quintessential Spider-Man. We're swinging through the city, we're seeing different, whatever. um I have two jumping spiders, they're right there.
Oh,
So
very
I
cool.
think I think that, seeing him kind of like doing his whole molting, and we almost got Man Spider. Comic
Hmm.
book community, we almost got Man Spider. That was just really cool to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was like a certain scene, but I think there were moments that kind of added up to me. Or what was yours?
Mine, I think it had to be when it was kind of like a combination of like him fighting the hand, but also like Jean's kind of controlling them, obviously. And she's like, "Are you Peter Parker or are you Spider Man?" He's like, "I'm both." And that's when he
Yes.
like embraces his like new powers and like like we got the
Yeah.
natural webs and he's just like going out and doing all these things we've never really seen him do before with these
Yeah.
fighting sequences. Which again, shout out to Jake, right? Like I mean not Jake, Destin, like just
Yeah.
amazing. Like just the way that's choreographed, it was just so freaking cool. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. That was
Like,
amazing.
like it just made me feel like a kid again. I was just like, this is what I love about Spider Man. Like he's my favorite superhero, like he always is gonna be. And just like for what he represents, just like as a symbol and like what he does for the community.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree completely.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think we covered like a good chunk of it. I mean, there were other characters in this too, like Liza's character. Like, oh, there was a moment I thought Liza's son was like gonna be like Miles Morales for some reason, which is did you get that at all? Like, I don't know. I was like thinking that are they trying to set something up? Because also besides that, we saw a character in his apartment. Like, was that supposed to be like Betty Brant or not Betty Brant? Gwen Stacy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with her.
I don't
Again,
know
I
either.
think yeah, I think that there's a lot of I don't think we'll see her for a while, put it that way. I think that if we're going to see Spider-Man in Secret Wars, we're going to be holding off on the side kind of plots unless we have a solo Spider-Man movie. I do
Yeah.
not think we're kind of seeing. I will mention I did hope that we saw kind of the street level Spider-Man villains a little bit more. I like that we got Scorpion. I felt like we got a
Oh
little bit of
yeah, Scorpion
Scorpion.
was cool. Michael Mando, always great. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool. Like
but
the
the
like the
rest of
montage,
them,
the villain montage, like toward the beginning of the movie, that was great.
yeah, I kind of wished we saw him, struggle a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's
Yeah,
doing this out of the goodness out of his heart. Is he living off of Aunt May's? You know what I mean? Like, how is he getting money? Like,
he's
he's
doing
working
okay
directly with the
financially. He's working
right.
with the
Like,
like, are they paying him to do these
yeah,
crime
that's what I'm
scenes? Like,
saying.
I
You know what I'm
guess.
saying? And it's
Yeah.
kind of it brings me back to like Falcon and Winter Soldier when Sam was trying to buy like the whole scene with the boat, and like he went to a bank and he's like, you know, it's,
Yeah.
I think that they, you know, I love to watch movies and at the very end you're like, what happens now? You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
that things like that stick with me, and I'm like, how is he getting any money?
Right.
You know?
I know.
It's
And
like
like,
I
isn't he
wish.
supposed to be a freaking like photographer for Spider-Man? Like, where's that? I don't know. I didn't see that in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, we're always, as much as we love it and it as good as it is, we're
Hmm.
always left wanting more, right? It's like the
Yeah.
book versus the movie. It's the same with this, the comic books versus the movies versus the games, right? We're always wanting more. I think that when we have a great Spider-Man movie like this, we want more, right? Even when it's we
Oh,
got
for
enough a
sure.
lot, we still
Yeah.
want more. So we're always going to be struggling with that.
Hmm. And then, yeah, if I had to give a grade for this out of 10, I would give this an 8. It has really good rewatchability. I don't know if I would go up to a 9 per se, just because, like, I mean, it's up there, though, with, like, the Spider-Man films. Like, Spider-Man 2 is still going to be my favorite. I would say it's, like, at least top 5. What about you?
Yeah, you know, I thought about it. It is my top three favorite out of the Spider-Man, just out of the Spider-Mans.
Nice.
Um, because he struggled again, and because it felt real, it felt
Hmm.
gritty, it felt like it inhibited kind of emotion out of me. So I loved that.
Yes.
However, if we were looking at it from a comic book standpoint, it didn't hit in certain points. With for me, it hit with the visual effects. It didn't hit with kind of the storylines and where we're going to go from here. So I would give it, yeah, like probably a 7.5, 8, I would say out of 10. It felt really good, but I'm just really interested to see kind of where they're going from here.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think of anything else. I guess real quick, I like the whole like May Parker, bringing Marissa Tomei back for that. That was cool. Just like having her kind of be that
Yeah.
that presence for Jean Grey. I thought that was really special, especially with how Homecoming ended, and like she finds out that
Yeah.
he's Spider-Man. It's not so comedic because like she kind of gives him a very important speech, which kind of tied into this movie, which I thought
Yeah.
Justin did a very good job with.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a common theme amongst these, the jaded superheroes, right? Is that they lost somebody and like they just want to feel included, right? Like I think that's what again the Thunderbolts kind of knew the Avengers, like they're all just looking for family. A
Hmm.
lot of them don't have it the way that they need it. Um, and Jean especially doesn't have her X-Men family yet. So I think that was a really good kind of touch of like she just wants to feel normal. Like
Yeah.
she talks about how her mom, like, she's like, how could that happen? Like, how could she just leave us? And, her sister was like, man, I don't, it happens, like shit happens, So I think that we got a little bit of that, and that was really nice to see. So I
Hmm.
agree.
Yeah. I mean, can't wait for them to explore more with that character.
Yeah, for sure. She's going to be killer.
Yeah. And in terms of Oscar potential, I don't think this movie's going to get nominated for anything. If anything, I think Doomsday would be the one that gets the visuals nomination, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it was really fun. I want to see it in Screen X so bad.
Yeah, I gotta see this movie again. Like, just
Oh yeah.
for the record, once is not enough. So I will be seeing it
No.
again pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Screen X apparently is the way to do it. 40X was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Wasn't
Mm.
too bad. You didn't feel kind of like you were jostled around.
Wasn't like the
So
Odyssey.
oh no, no, no. Yeah, there were points where you were like, okay, we're jumping. But yeah, 40X was a lot of fun. Screen X I've heard is like really great. So I want to go see it in Screen X. But yeah, I don't think that there's not enough in there for it to for Oscar, you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to get a nom, especially not with the freaking movies that are coming out this year. I think if Tom's
It's
going to get anything, it'll
stacked.
be Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. More to come. But yeah, that's everything I have on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Kat, my friend, thank you so much for joining me. Tell the good people where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, so we have our own kind of internet fandom publication called The Nerdwire. You can find me at catatonic.lol on Instagram. So yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for listening to our review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Thank you so much. And if you like what you heard, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the channel. Greatly appreciate your feedback and your support. And remember, when you go to the movies, bring your buddy and talk about movies. Until next time, bye.